Stewart Hall High School is a private school that was established about 15 years ago. It is part of the Schools of the Sacred Heart Network, established in the 1800s by Madeline Sophie Burra. The first school was created to offer girls a chance at a higher education. Burra's groundbreaking establishment sparked the creation of a network of schools reaching across 30 countries worldwide. Schools of the Sacred Heart share 5 common goals to instill into their students. Goal 2, a deep respect for intellectual values, resonated with me the most. Goal 2's requirements include a curriculum based on educational research and evaluation, critical thinking that inspires a lifelong love of learning, and the development of aesthetic values and creative use of imagination. One of the most meaningful readings to me was Plato's allegory of the cave. This anecdote describes a world in which people are imprisoned inside a cave in search for the light, which is representative of the truth. One man escapes and is faced with the dilemma of sharing his knowledge or keeping it to himself. The people of the cave represent the multiple possibilities of leaders. People who are ignorant and closed-minded should not govern a nation, nor should people who are greedy and impulsive, unwilling to be generous with their knowledge. The best leaders, according to Plato, must be willing to spread their higher knowledge with others as to create an intelligent nation altogether. Plato establishes knowledge as the most crucial and valuable treasure that one can attain, as opposed to possessions of goods and wealth. Like the allegory of the cave, Mr. Buckley's World War I simulations exposed the truth to me. Mr. Buckley's war games reenacted the interactions between the Allies and the Central Powers of World War I. I found myself deeply involved in this class activity because it transformed a typically boring and dull subject into an engaging and interesting lesson. More importantly, unlike other projects that involve tedious memorization, we search for the truth in why certain countries behaved the way they did. We learn to see the world from each of these countries' eyes, understanding their motives and ambitions. Although Plato brings attention to the importance of education and intellect, the United Nations is one to connect it to modern society. The UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 26, states that education shall be made equally accessible to all based on the basis of merit. Clearly, the UN stresses the values of education in society. It is imposed at a young age in the hopes that it will compel them to expand their knowledge throughout their lifetime. Another part of Article 26 stresses that education is created to enhance the full development of the human personality. Education is what drives people to act correctly and cohesively while maintaining individuality. It promotes tolerance and peace instead of hindering it. This is yet another reason to stress the benefits of intellectual values. During my junior year, Mr. Campos brought our class to Angel Island. At this historic site, we were exposed to the lack of human rights that our country bestowed upon immigrants back in the early 1900s. This made me truly appreciate the access that I have in society. Being raised in a middle-class environment, I am given opportunities that others worked aimlessly for in the past and the present. When I look back in my career at Stewart Hall, this trip will resonate with me because it made me more aware of my privileges and the truth behind this nation. Lastly, Pope John XXIII mentions the right to education in his encyclical writing Pacem in Terris. It states that everyone has a natural right to share in the benefits of culture and hence to receive a good general education. It's only natural that humans should strive to be as knowledgeable as they please. Furthermore, a system must be devised for affording gifted members of society the opportunity of engaging in more advanced studies. Offering incentives like higher pay and better quality of life to those that choose to devote themselves to higher education should be implemented into society. It's this principle that promotes everyone to better themselves and others to a deep respect for intellectual values. As Coach Woodard said, wrestling is the great equalizer. I learned that in wrestling, no matter what background you come from, you are no better than your teammate or your opponents. Every wrestler starts off with the same amount of knowledge and experience about the sport. You are all equal. It is up to you to take advantage of the opportunities given to you by your coaches, parents, and the environment around you. Your perseverance and motivation as a wrestler and as a student dictate your success and how much you learn from your experiences. Throughout my 4 years at Stewart Hall, I have found that the 5 Sacred Heart goals have more depth and meaning than as stated in their criteria. Personally, Goal 2 resonated with me the most. My classes have engaged me thoroughly and challenged me, testing my abilities and augmenting my knowledge. The use of creativity and appreciation for aesthetics have been crucial in my development at Stewart Hall. The rigorous education of Stewart Hall taught me to value critical thinking and use that outside of the classroom to further my knowledge.